Good morning, guys. Still sticking with paragraphs. Kind of the final little lesson before you guys are actually writing a paragraph tomorrow, where you take everything you've learned this week and write your own paragraph. But hey, we used a kind of a building analogy. We've used a hamburger analogy to think that all these things, it's one burger, it's one building, but it's made up of many parts, right? Just like a burger needs a bun to hold it together, it needs a topic sentence to start, and the building needs a foundation to start, and then the posts and beams hold it up. But I want you to think of some of our grocery store friends. You guys know, if you went to a grocery store, whether you're shopping with your auntie or whether your auntie might just give you a list and say, here's $10 and here's a list of what I need you to get. I need you to get milk, eggs, a couple apples, and some cereal. Hopefully $10 is enough. But at any rate, you guys know when you go into the grocery store, things are sorted, correct? Thank goodness that if you need frozen stuff, it's all in the frozen aisle. So if you have a list of milk, eggs, cereal, and apples, you know exactly where to go. You probably don't need to go to this frozen section. You can skip it altogether. For the milk, you need to go to the dairy section with the fridges, right? You know exactly where to go. For the cereal, man, they got a whole aisle of cereal. The apples are going to be by all the produce and fruit. What I'm trying to say is, when you go to a grocery store, they got it all sorted by like categories. You don't walk down an aisle and think, oh man, here's one shelf of frozen stuff. Here's a couple chips. Here's a couple, things of paper plates and paper towels. Oh, here's a couple, fruit, bananas and pears and stuff. And oh, right next door to that is some cereal. They don't just have a mismatch of stuff in the aisle. They have it nice and sorted. The chips aisle are all in the chip aisle. It makes sense, right? If you want chips, you got to go there. And it might take you an hour to decide because there's so many delicious chips. But you don't have to go to 8 different aisles to find all the different kinds of chips. They're all there together. You guys know, hey, apples is on the list. I'm not going to aisle 16, then aisle 4, then aisle 8. It would take you hours. I know the apples are with all the produce and specifically with all the fruits. Same with paragraphs. When you do paragraphs, the paragraphs all have to be about the same thing. Just like you go to the cereal aisle, you can expect cereal. You don't stand there in the cereal aisle and you complain to the manager, say, hey, sir or ma'am, I'm in the cereal aisle. Where in the world is the bread? They'll calmly tell you, okay, you're in the cereal aisle. If you want bread, you have to go to the bread aisle. Same with your paragraphs. If you have a paragraph that a topic sentence talks about playing baseball, guess what every supporting detail better be about in that paragraph? It better be about playing baseball. Now, it can be the different positions. It can be about the different rules. It can be about the different equipment you need. But when you're talking about a paragraph in baseball, you can't all of a sudden say, oh man, I really want to tell everybody how I went swimming at the lake last summer. Great, but don't put that in the paragraph about baseball. That has to go in a separate paragraph, just like the grocery store manager is not going to have a whole bunch of cereal in the cereal aisle and then a couple little shelves of a Powerade and chips and frozen pizza. It's not going to make sense. So when I'm going through this, I'm going to give you a paragraph, and you don't necessarily have to stand or sit when you're at home, but I want you to try to figure out if this paragraph is a good paragraph. In other words, you guys know you got to look at the top sentence, the main idea, the one that's indented, and that's going to be the clue. Boom! That's what the paragraph is all about. So, as it comes little typewriter style, I'm going to ask you to read through it and tell me if this is a good paragraph or not. Take just a few seconds and read through it. Oh, I like how the first sentence is indented. You're very welcome. How is this paragraph looking? Well, I think you started with the topic sentence, the main idea, looking at the Grand Canyon, which means every sentence in this paragraph better be about the Grand Canyon. Is it? What in the world is I love parrots who eat crackers doing in here? I'm not saying it's wrong to love parrots who eat crackers. That's perfectly fine if you love them. But I do have an issue of why in the world, when you've made it clear, and I know I did this, I made it clear, this paragraph better all. If you've been to the Grand Canyon, there's not a parrot within 1,000 miles, and it's definitely not a parrot that eats crackers there. This is a fine sentence, but it should not be in this paragraph. Just like our grocery store friends don't have bread in the cereal aisle. It doesn't make sense. Bread in the bread aisle, cereal in the cereal aisle. If you want to talk about you love parrots who eat crackers, that's fine. Get it out of this paragraph and put it in the next paragraph. Here's another example. Read through it, especially starting with the topic sentence, the main idea, and let me know if all of the sentences below talk about the topic sentence. If you started with the topic sentence, which you always should, it talks about the game was incredibly exciting, which means everything in this paragraph better be about the game being incredibly exciting. And if you notice, this is a good paragraph. Every sentence about the game, and look, it even has some exclamation points. It talks about how the game was exciting. Every one of these sentences goes and supports the topic sentence, the main idea, because every sentence talks about how the game was incredibly exciting. This is a good paragraph. You followed the rules well. Now what you are going to be given is a couple topics. And your job is to write supporting details. Now, you guys know preparing for Christmas is different than after Christmas. You might have some supporting details in preparing for Christmas. Buy the gifts. Wrap the gifts, put up the tree, put up the decorations. Those are all things you do to prepare for Christmas. You do not have buy the gifts, wrap the gifts, throw away the tree, put up the decorations. That doesn't make sense, right? Preparing for Christmas better only be about preparing for Christmas. If you want to throw away the tree, put it what you do after Christmas, right? What do you do after Christmas? Put away the decorations. Throw away the wrapping paper. Get rid of the tree after it's dead and all the pine needles fall off. So on and so forth. The point is, you gotta sort them correctly in your paragraphs too. Cereal goes in the cereal aisle. All the sentences about preparing for Christmas better go in the preparing for Christmas section. That's what your assignment is here. Notice they give you 3 topic sentences. Your job is to talk about or write, and yes, you got to come up with supporting details. The topic sentence here is, breakfast is an important meal. You need to think of and write 3 supporting details that support why breakfast is an important meal. It could be, it's important to start your day off with getting food in your system that your body can use to give you energy. It is important not to be hungry for the rest of the day. It is important to have a healthy breakfast to start your day off right. There's 3 supporting details I just gave you. You need to come up with them and write about. What I better not see here is all about playing on the merry-go-round. That has nothing to do with breakfast being an important meal. I'm happy that you played on the merry-go-round, but it shouldn't be in this paragraph. So your assignment today is for these 3 topic sentences. For each one, write 3 supporting details that only talk about the topic sentence or main idea. Hey guys, Lord's blessings to you as you praise your Savior.